Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from AstroladaOfficial, and my presence for 2025 for you is the 12 signs, a summary of my 2025 video horoscopes in short, small packages of 10, 15, 20 minutes max per sign. I focus on Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars because these are the most important and active planets that show the tangible results you'll see in your life in 2025. But if you want the extended version of those videos, I have them on my website, 2.5 hours per each sign, where I cover Neptune changing signs, Uranus changing signs, the bisextile between Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune, Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries, the eclipses. Month by month I go there, but here this is a summary for you, for the major influences, so you know where to concentrate your efforts and where the best and the biggest gains from your efforts will come. So enjoy. Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising 2025. Aries, this year 2025 and 2026 are the beginning not of a new chapter but of a new book in your life. They're so pivotal because Saturn and Neptune are going to start their conjunction, their 35-year cycle at the beginning of Aries. So all Aries in some way will be called to play a very important role in the creation of the new paradigm, ideals, the new visions of the future of the next 35 years. But it starts in 25 and 26 for you, Aries. And even if you're not called to change the world, but some areas will be, because this epochal conjunction that creates new worlds, new whole society and world orders is happening in your sign. But even those of you who are more normal people, there's something big starting, new inspirations coming your way, new chapter in your life, as I said, new book even in some way, but we'll speak about that. But let's be more concise. The first 3-4 months of the year, the biggest focus for you, Aries, will be where Mars is. This is the planet that rules you. Wherever Mars goes, you're concentrated there. And Mars is for the next up till the middle of April in your 4th house all the time, pretty much. So retrograde and direct. Those first 4 months almost, you are focused on fixing something connected to home, property, real estate, relationships with parents, with extended family. There might be some crisis there. There might be some stresses that you experience through there that you have to mobilize your energy and resources and creativity and whatever you else want just to solve them. But as well, it can mean Mars's higher octave is to fix, to improve, to make better. So, for example, repairs at home, repairing a relationship with a parent, or working really hard on the family, on somehow on your inner world, on your feelings, on these are more in your personal life. Somehow there is a lot of attention on your personal life, where you live, what is your environment, changing it in some way, or where you're going to live, taking some important decisions. And Mars retrograde is surprising. The first 2 months, there might be some surprises there. Anything connected to home, place of living, relationships with parents, extended family. But actually the second part of the year, even if Mars stressed you psychologically, emotionally somehow, the first 3-4 months while it was in your 4th house, or created some crisis or chaos there, don't worry, because from June, then for a year, June 2025 till July 2026, Jupiter will enter your 4th house right after Mars leaves it. And Jupiter will heal everything there. If there was some emotional pain from family, from disruptions in your family life, from disruptions of where you live, or some damages to home, property, real estate, Jupiter will heal all of this. Jupiter can help you from the middle of the year till the middle of 2026 to find your place that you call home, to find a place where you feel belong, to find where your soul feels at peace, to find inner peace, even if it sometimes is not outer, that you find the right home, the right place. But this as well, you can have gains from real estate, find the right property for you, get into gardening, connect to family members much more, have healing there, have liberation of pent up painful emotions of any sort, start family, add a new member to the family, improve your environment and the place you live in, and so on. So first Mars a bit tests us here, makes us do some changes, then Jupiter comes and brings blessings for a year in this fourth house. Then the other important planet that we always have to look at is Saturn. Where is Saturn? It's where the hard lessons are for us. Saturn in this case is pretty much 9 months out of 12 is in your 12th house. So the majority of the year, 12th house is the endings before it moves into your sign. So you're weeding out weeds. You're removing the weeds because you're just ending right now. 2025 is the last time a 27-year-old cycle, 28-year-old cycle. So think back sometimes in the middle of the 90s, if you remember that, or a bit later 90s as well. Something started in your life that is ending probably now. Maybe some karmic debt that you've been carrying. Maybe something else, or maybe something that has been a big trouble or burden will end for you now. And Saturn in the 12th house is fantastic here to let go of addictions, to let go of self-sabotaging behaviors, to let go of the past. If you don't willingly release the past and you're ready for it, believe me, so many planets are helping you with this. The South, the North Node, Neptune there. Venus and Mercury will be retrograde in your 12th house in March, February, March, April as well. Something big is happening in March and April for all of us, for Aries, but for you it's like a big flushing down of the past, a big goodbye somehow, separation with the past, separation with who you were before, with who you identify with. So there might be some losses if you're not willingly decided to let go of things. They might be yanked out of you. You might have to say some goodbyes, but it's okay because it's long time overview. And when this 12th house of ending, separations, expenses as well, and releasing is activated, believe me, it's the high octave of the 12th house is freedom, liberation. It's called Moksha house. Moksha house. And so is the 4th house. You see, there's strong activations for areas of Moksha houses. Something in 2025 is freeing you. Moksha means liberation, to be freed from the attachments to the world, to be free from the attachments of the past. So it allows your soul to soar in some way. It might feel like external losses sometimes, saying goodbye to part of your life that was always there, part of you, but it's your soul is starting to soar above. Your soul is starting to feel freer and lighter. So even if there are losses, no, this is so. It's a clean slate because for 3 months this year, June, July, and August, Saturn and Neptune also move into your first house, Aries, which is only for 3 months this year, and Neptune for 6 months. But from 2026, they come in full force. Saturn entering your sign is huge. Happens only once every 28 years. New karmic cycle begins for you. That's why you're ending the old karmic cycle. That's why many old things will leave. Also things that you don't want anymore, that are chaining you, that are putting you in prison. But big part of the year 2025, you might still feel you're not certain where you're going because Saturn is only for 2-3 months in your first house when it gives you the clarity in the direction. The majority is in your 12th house where you're still ending things. You know something new is coming. You're not quite certain yet. You're kind of like suspended, like in midair a little bit, there areas in 2025 because you're ending and things but for 3 months you get a glimpse what are the new beginnings that are coming to you, especially the early born areas, those that are March areas, those that are the first 0 to 5 degrees. They would feel those powerful new beginnings, the start of the new chapter already from 2025. And they are areas. When Saturn enters the summer, you would feel June, July, and August, all areas probably, you would feel like a tightening. You'd feel like you become more gathered together. You become more like Saturn wants to make you over the next 3 years like a Shaolin monk because it's there with Neptune, spiritual planet. Saturn is about discipline in Aries, which is physical. So I would advise Aries, if they can do some weightlifting over the next 3 years, start doing it, or some routine, create new routines, because Saturn is about building your body, if it's your ascendant, from scratch. If it's your moon, a new personal life from scratch. And emotions, if it's your sun, even your career direction and goals. But Saturn will ask you to sort out your priorities over the next 2-3 years, and to see what is truly important for you, because you have a sense of time is running out, I'm getting old, or life is not, I'm not forever, I'm not infinite. This is the energy that Saturn brings, this energy of feeling your limitations and what your possibilities are, and then sorting out what your priorities are so you can focus on the most important. Many times people start working out during Saturn in their sign. They start powerful new beginnings, they start new careers, they start new chapters in their life, they get rid of a lot of old things and introduce new things. But Saturn brings you self-control, self-discipline, and actually Aries would enjoy that, even though Saturn is a bit harsh, because North Node has been in your Aries for a year and a half, and North Node is a bit wild. It's ambitious, but Saturn is the one that can materialize whatever the North Node seeded. And Saturn is there with Neptune. Neptune will be there 14 years. Neptune will spiritualize you in some way. Neptune will refine you. Neptune will connect you to the higher dimensions of the world, like refined music, spiritual inspiration, and so on. But we'll speak about that in the extended video, because also Uranus is changing signs, Neptune is changing. That's so much to speak about, but I just want to focus this year in particular. So the first few degrees only will feel this disciplining of Saturn, this getting serious and getting down to work, and no more time to waste, and cutting off all the frills of your life, really making it elegant, streamlining it, creating a really positive or healthy routine. This is what Saturn usually demands. And Saturn will make you get organized, Aries, especially over the next 3 years. Maybe not all Aries will feel it in 2025. They would feel a lot of the Saturn in the 12th house, where things are still dissolving and being cleaned up. But the early Aries, as I said, and maybe some later Aries again will start feeling it because it's already in their sign. But there will be Saturn will discipline you strongly, because Saturn is the ruler of the 10th house. Either some authority will discipline you, or your own inner authority will self-discipline you towards matters of career, responsibility, worldly duties, and towards matters of what you have to contribute to the world, because it's also the ruler of the 11th house, towards your long-term goals. And dreams, what are they? What have they been? Saturn will say, no more time to wasting. It's serious now. And if it's now or never, and it will give you this really serious slant of mind and long-term focus on, as I said, gainfulness, your goals, your ambitions. These are good houses that Saturn rules. Yeah, Aries, that's the big focus. Remember, Jupiter in your 4th house will bless you from family matters from the middle of the year. The first part of the year till June, Jupiter is in your 3rd house. So it's allowing you and pushing you to make contacts, connections. If you're a business person, that's very useful time, the first 5-6 months while Jupiter is in your 3rd house. This is creating contacts. This is improving connectivity, building websites that Jupiter allows you to do, building sales strategies, marketing, advertising. Jupiter in the 3rd is fantastic for all of those. Any kind of written, spoken project that you might have with Jupiter in the 3rd house, you are blessed. It will happen. Whether it's a blog, vlog, media, any media work, any written work, there might be more abundant, or learning something new. Jupiter really blesses you the first 6 months to learn some new skill, or to gain from your skills that you exist, to make contacts and friendships. Jupiter in the 3rd, in the first part of the year, is very good, especially in your local environment. Get to know the local moms, like I did with Jupiter in the 3rd house. Get to know your local neighbors. Jupiter will improve your relationships with siblings, with relatives, with neighbors, with teammates, workmates, people in your environment. People like that will be helpful for you and can embrace you or push you and help you in some way with your goals and directions. Plus Jupiter in the 3rd allows for a lot more traveling. And then when it moves to the 4th, we talked about it from June onwards, it's about more family, inner happiness, place of living, and so on. But if you want to hear the extended version where I speak about the Saturn, Neptune, Uranus sextile, how it will affect you over the next 5 years, plus what it means to have Uranus in your 3rd, Pluto, and I put them all together. you can join me. But yes, Aries, oh, Saturn in angular house and Jupiter, this is a year, especially 2026 after that, where the wheel of fortune turns for you. Big noticeable changes, because when Saturn and Jupiter are both on an angle, like you're gonna have this year for 3-4 months as well, this is when things really start changing. Until now, before that, Saturn and Jupiter were in houses for you that are not angular, but falling houses of things, preparatory period. And the launch is when Saturn and Jupiter both enter angles from your sign. And that's for some of you already this year.